Good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever it is for you. Welcome back to a First Descendant video, and it is reset day on the First Descendant, and I'm going to introduce the best weekly farming spots for all your reactors and your external components for this week. I've been doing that on other games on this channel as well, so let me introduce it to the First Descendant. Of course, if you have any tips for me or tricks for me, or if you feel like there is a better reactor or a better place to farm, please let me know down below in the comments so we can make this better for the whole community and we can just keep upgrading the video. And of course, if you like it, make sure to hit that like button and or subscribe button if it helped you out in any way or form. So let's get it started. And for our first ascendant, Ajax, and at the same time Kyle, we can go to Acne Desert, the mining site area, and we're going for the mining beacon mission, and we can find the special rounds tech reactor over here. The mining beacon mission is one of the best missions to go for. Straightforward, just stay in the beacon. All the enemies will spawn close to each other, so you can take them out and then of course collect all of your ultimate reactors. So for our next descendant, we're going over Bunny. If you want to go for an impact singular reactor and then impact, I would recommend you going for the Blue Beetle weapon. We can find this in White Knight Gulch, Moongrave Basin area, and we're going for the water cooling reactor mission, as this is hands down one of the best missions to farm. So much enemies, you can just run around A and take everybody out, and a lot of reactors will drop for you. So for our next descendant, Blair, we are going for sterile lands, the restricted zone area, and we're going for the mission barracks, and we're gonna hunt down the impact dimensional reactor. This is not the best mission out there, but at least we can find something for Blair this week. So if you want to go for an impact rounds dimension reactor, go for sterile lands, restricted zone area, and then go for the mission the barracks. That is, in my humble opinion, the best mission to play in this area. Then going over to our next descendant, and that will be Freyna, and of course for next week, Ultimate Freyna, and this is just hands down one of the reactors that you wanna farm for this week. And then go for especially her mobbing setup, the open world setup. You're going for special rounds and then singular. We can find this in Echo Swamp within the Muskeg Swamp area, and we're going for the Tree of Truth mission. This is the best mission to do within this area, although the mission is not the best itself, as we are running around and there is a lot of verticality in between. And of course, like always, if you're going for farming, take your bunny, as bunny will do damage on a horizontal and on a vertical phase. That will make this farm a lot easier. And then for our next descendant, or better said descendants, Gley, Jayber, Valby, and Enzo can all be farmed for impact rounds on dimension within Echo Swamp, the Misty Woods area, and then going for the Hazy Swamp extermination mission. This is such a good mission to farm, and there are a total of 4 descendants that you can farm your impact dimensional reactors on, and like I said, it's such a good mission. So if you're looking for a reactor for Gley, Jayber, Valby, and or Enzo, go to Echo Swamp, Misty Woods area, and choose for the Hazy Swamp extermination mission. And then for our next descendants, for Lepic and Esiemo, we are going for impact rounds, and then of course focusing on tech, and we can find this within Kingston, going for the Fallen Theater area, and then going for the Vulgus Occupy buildings. It's still a decent mission, not the best missions out there, but this is definitely one of the reactors that you want to go for, especially for beaming down Colossi with your Lepic build. And then for our next Descendant, we are covering Sharen. And if you want to go for a dimensional reactor to boost up her first and her fourth, you can go for a general rounds dimension reactor. And you can find this within Echo Swamp, going for the derelict covert area and then going for the verdant greenery mission. And this will guarantee you for a couple of golden reactors focused on general rounds and dimension. And then for our next Descendant, Viessa, there are two ways to farm it depending on which weapon you want to go for. If you want to go for general rounds, for example for a Fallen Hope build, we can find a general rounds tech within White Knight Gulch in the observatory area. And then in my opinion you should go for the Order's occupied facility. Take that down. It's not the best mission to farm, but if you want to go for general rounds in combination with tech, this is where you can find your reactor. And then for the second reactor, depending how you want to set up your build, we can go for the secret garden. That is a special rounds, and then we're gonna focus on fusion on the other side of Viessa, and we can find this within Fortress in the converted facility area, and then go for the Volga strategic outpost. You can keep this up, so you can do it as a Valby farm to then take everybody out, let the mission fail and go back in again. Or else you have to, of course, wait a minute if you take out the boss. Just stay a little bit on the outside, so you take out the towers that you need to take out. And of course, most of the enemies will be spawning around the sides of this mission, where the boss that you kinda want to avoid will be in the middle. And those two are for Viessa, so depending on which you want to focus on, or on tech and general rounds, go for White Knight Gulch. Or if you want to go for special rounds in combination with fusion, go to Fortress. And then for our last Descendant, Yujin, we can find the general rounds in combination with fusion in White Knight Gulch, going to the mountaintop area and going for the borderline of truth mission. This is kind of focused on his support build for Yujin, so whenever you want to go for a support build for him, then go for the general rounds with fusion. And this is such a great mission. This is of course also the mission to farm your blue brains. I made a video about that last week. Very good mission. You can beat this within like 30 to 45 seconds. Again, if you go for Bunny. And then of course at that same time, trying to get that reactor, you can get those blue brains to drop as well. And that is it for all the Descendants. And then of course we have our two external components this week. We have a Censor and we have the Ajax. And for the Censor, we can find that in Agna Desert this week in the Remnant area. And then I would recommend you going for the Abandoned Reconstruction Site mission. It says it has an estimated playtime of 15 minutes, but it is a lot lower. And this is also a pretty decent mission to farm your Censor. And for your Censor, in my opinion, you wanna aim at max HP as your normal attribute, and then at least max MP as your second attribute, and even MP recovery in combat. So max HP, max MP, and then MP recovery in combat. That is, in my humble opinion, the best way to go for the Censor. And then for the last piece of the day, before I leave you, we're going over the Ajax. And the Ajax can be found within Echo Swamp, the Abandoned Zone area, and we're going for the Environment Contamination Zone mission. This is the best mission to run around here and also can give you a decent amount of gold. But of course we are focusing on our external component, the auxiliary. And in my opinion you want to go for double max HP. This is the only external component that can have the double HP roll. So in my opinion go for that. And then for the second roll I would personally go for MP recovery out of combat. So again, going for max HP on top. Then for our secondary roles, we're going for max MP and MP recovery out of combat. You can go for a few others as well, depending on your playstyle, depending on your build. But the most important one is that you wanna find the double HP roles. And that's pretty much it. A little bit longer video. This is of course the first time I'm doing the best weekly farming spots for your reactors and for your external components. Again, let me know in the comments down below, how can I do it better? Do I need to do it faster? Do I need to give you more information? Please let me know in the comments down below, and let's make this video enjoyable for everybody. Thanks again for sticking until the end. Like the video if you liked the video or helped you out in any way or form. And of course, if you're new here and or you want to be updated by the first Descendant, make sure to hit that subscribe button as well. And I will see you in the next one. PurePrime out.